In NASB 2's wide array of characters, one's meta development that strikes me as the most interesting is Jimmy Neutron, a character rich with cool combos and a complex punish game. But unfortunately, with his many downsides, the community has him ranked on the patch 1.3 tier list as a bottom 5 character and a character not worth picking up. Until one Australian player had enough of the character's downplay and decided to change the character's fate forever. This is how Australia redefined the NASB 2 meta. Jimmy being bad can be split into 3 main reasons. Number 1, bugs. His first and biggest reason for being a low tier is the excessive amount of bugs he has. It turns out if a dev team is in crunch time and has to develop a character that has 2 in-between states, a lot of quirks may appear. This list includes the Jimmy vs. Rocco bug. Jimmy loses a stock bug.
I just lost a stock. Huh?
The Jimmy vs. Zim bug. The Jimmy slow recovery when controlling Goddard bug. The Jimmy vs. Jimmy bug. Alright, you get the point. This character has a laundry list of bugs that hold him back from being a good character. His second reason for being bad is his lackluster neutral / over-reliance on Goddard. Jimmy himself has quite the weak neutral game with his laggy grounded options and his overcommittal aerials. It makes his neutral pretty difficult, and in a game that has a punish game comparable to Smash 64, you do not want to get hit.
Oh my god!
And that's when Goddard comes in. Goddard has 4 moves: Bite, Slam, Laser, and Explosion. The Laser is by far his best tool in neutral. You can reposition and shoot Goddard's laser at an off angle for an opening in the opponent's defenses for an advantage. The downsides though is with his low HP of 20 and a long cooldown of 6 seconds, as well as the time it takes to set up Goddard in a good position, it makes him a prioritized target, and destroying him makes it a win condition for the matchup. In summary, killing Goddard equals win the game. The last reason would be his combo complexity to damage output ratio. Jimmy has a very complex combo tree in NASB 2. Since Jimmy is basically 2 characters, the second being Goddard, learning how to switch between Jimmy and Goddard for your combo makes him the hardest character to combo with in the game. And the worst part of it all is your combo to damage output is either equal or worse to the rest of the cast. To further illustrate my point, let's compare 2 optimal touch of death combos between Squidward, ranked the bottom 10 character in that same 1.3 tier list, and Jimmy. When comparing both combos, Jimmy mains have to do 112% more inputs than most characters to kill a character only 20% later. Leviathan, the number 1 Jimmy, summarizes this whole point perfectly, saying, Jimmy requires setup and a lot of position to do a fraction of what the top tiers do without such. Zoners in general aren't very strong in this game since offense is so strong and punish game makes or breaks a character. He just needs way more neutral wins and kills later. But what Leviathan didn't know is that below the surface of this character, there's an untapped potential that is about to be unlocked. January 7th, 2024, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, Victoria, Australia. Dan, more known as Infinity 285, is hosting the second iteration of You Got Slimed, an OCE online NASB 2 monthly. And while this is the second iteration of its series, this will unfortunately be the last You Got Slimed and the last NASB 2 tournament hosted for the OCE region. It is grand finals between 2 players, Rizul versus Tyler. This matchup, funnily enough, has already happened before, during the first iteration of You Got Slime back in November 2024, and well...
Oh, this is so good, and that's it!
It wasn't that close. But during that 2-month time span, Tyler had decided to drop Jenny and proceed to master and develop Jimmy, and this set was about to bring a major impact to the meta. But before that set can even start, behind the scenes there's been a bit of trash talk between Tyler and someone I haven't brought up yet, Rowan. Rowan is known for many things in the platform fighter scene. Combo Devil's editor, one of the best multiverses Iron Giants, and more importantly, for the context of this story, Leviathan's best friend. Rowan one late night was browsing the Nasby2 Twitch section and happened to stumble upon Dan's tournament stream. While looking at the bracket, he saw that Tyler had made it to Grands as Jimmy, and promptly said in the Twitch chat, "You let a Jimmy get to Grands?" And Tyler, seeing that chat, quickly fired back saying,
I'm just reading on chat, you let a Jimmy get to Crayons.
They're talking
guys-
shit.
I mean, yeah,
Jimmy's broken. Y'all just don't know. I deadass think
Yeah,
your
I-
Jimmys are like
I-
awful.
I
I think
really,
Leviathan is fucking terrible, and he's like the only one doing anything.
At this point, this prompted Rowan to call up Leviathan, bring him on to watch the stream, and still, the trash talk from Tyler doesn't stop.
All the hubbub is about this Jimmy. Look,
yeah,
all
you'll
I'm gonna say is
see. I'm gonna die
I
at like.
easily have the best punish game of any Jimmy you'll ever see in your life. Like, it
No, you
means
called-
no
you
end.
called- You called him dog shit. What are you talking about?
I called Leviathan dog shit.
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. Relax.
And by that, all I mean is that he's not pushing this character as far as he can. He's the only person pushing this character, and he's complaining about the character being bad. Like, when all three of those are being done, I have no qualms using the word dog shit.
With the stage set and the stakes set in place, Grand Finals is now underway, and what Leviathan and Rowan didn't expect was how Tyler was going to back up his smack talk and show off a new way of playing Jimmy.
Yeah. Agreed. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
What's up? Yeah. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. It is.
That playstyle right there was Goddardless Jimmy. A Jimmy playstyle that isn't focused on setting up Goddard at all during neutral, but rather setting it up during advantage for edgeguards and for pokes, and actively switches their playstyle from a zoner to a rushdown character. But quote, didn't you say that his neutral was not good due to his laggy options? Well, I wasn't being entirely truthful. While yes, all of his aerials are overcommittal, but when spaced correctly, all of his aerials are safe on shield, especially his forward air, which is a disjoint. Pair this with a move that I forgot to mention, his neutral special, Rocket, or specifically, the intelligent purple flurp rocket launching module 3000, has added pressure on shield, making his aerials even safer during neutral. But this isn't even the highlight of Tyler's new playstyle. Yeah, a Goddardless playstyle is quite uncommon, but it is something we have seen before in players such as Matt, a Jimmy main from St. Louis. But the difference between Matt and Tyler is this one specific character-changing combo you might have missed during the montage. This is the fair chain. Step 1. You'd send them up through an up tilt, a down tilt, a grab, or just any upward sending smash attack. Step 2. You would then jump up and fair. Step 3. Depending on stage positioning, we'd fast fall down and or repeat step 2. And then step 4. Once the opponent is far off stage, you would proceed to slime dash forward and finishing it off with another fair. While the combo is quite simple in itself, the damage output is insane, and it's by far the best kill confirm anyone has discovered yet. And once players like Leviathan and Matt got a hold of it, it was time to bring it into the States. It's now February 2025, and the 23 best players have collaborated together to make the first official NASB 2 community tier list. And while gazing upon the tier list, you could see that Jimmy rised a few ranks and finally is a solid mid-tier pick. Wait, what do you mean they're top 5?
You kinda got me, so do my thing. I can clean it, you're not gonna stop me. But I've been seeing here and there these niggas trying to copy.
Hey y'all, I appreciate y'all being here. You know.
How did Jimmy get this high on the tier list? In order to figure this out, we'll quickly revisit our 3 biggest reasons as to why he was bad, and see what updates were made during our 1-year time skip. We'll start off with bugs first. The biggest update with this section is finally patching out all the Jimmy versus blank bugs.
Oh my god, he can move! And I'm not stuck in my fucking character! Oh my god! Oh my...
And it's thanks to Bean and Leviathan that both compiled a huge document that lists every major and minor bug this character has. And while there are still a couple of bugs that fell through the cracks, the character is definitely in a very playable state as compared to last year. Next would be his neutral and over-reliance on Goddard. While it looks like there isn't many developments on the surface to this character's neutral, thanks to Tyler's aggressive Goddardless gameplay, Jimmy mains have started to see how you don't need to rely on Goddard always being in the game, and how Jimmy can still be a threat with or without Goddard on the court. And lastly, his combo complexity and damage output ratio. While his combos have only been getting more and more complex, players like Leviathan had continued to push the character each day to make the combo tree more and more consistent. And he made it work by getting number 1 in the NASB 2 Season 2 PR. But eventually the torch had to have been passed down, and it got passed down to a player named Sempak, who till this day is pushing this character to limits and levels we have never seen before.
Okay, Sempak.
And even if hitting very complex combos is something you're not ready for yet, it's thanks to Tyler's Slime Dash combo that there is still a simpler killing combo that is still used to top players and casual players to this day. While the years go by and the fate and timeline of NASB 2 is still uncertain, a lot of the history of Jimmy's development will be mainly credited to players like Leviathan and Sempak. But today, I would like to add another person to this list. The first solo Jimmy tournament winner. The first Jimmy that knew this character wasn't a bumbling low tier, but knew that this character had top tier potential. The overly confident, trash-talking Australian Jimmy, Tyler.